one driver you were afraid to race against. Wouldn't go to the outside with that.
You know something? I can't recall of anybody that I, in my day and age, to race against that I was actually scared to race against that. They would try to put you in a fence or something like that. A driver would make it uncomfortable for you, but you knew he was going to give you room. Maybe only inches, but you'd have room. But nowadays, I see guys. I actually helped a guy down in New Egypt a couple of years ago, and it was in a rookie division. I went down, and this guy started to lose his control and hit the guy. But he didn't hit him hard, and he really didn't mean it. Well, going down the home straightaway, this guy went down and just run right at that guy and put him in the fence. And I said, well, why did you do that? He said, well, he hit me. And I said, I ain't never helped you again. That's the end of that. You know, that's stupid. Why demolish your car and the other guy's car over? To me, that's not racing. You should go in the figure eight racing or something.
How about you, Billy? Anybody that you were a little leery about?
I'll tell you one about Billy. I'll tell you one about Billy. I'm leading this 200, and I'm leading. I'm going around, and it's getting towards the end, and like 5 to go, and I'm going around, and I hear this car behind me. This car comes up, and I'm going around. Well, right on the last lap, here comes this guy here in the 3. Around the outside, and it got me for the checker flag. I said, son of a bitch, he comes up and said, you don't think you won the race, did you? I said, yeah, I think I won the race. I don't know where the hell you come from. Well, he was a lap down.
He was happy when I handed my beer to him. That was pretty cool. That was. I don't even want to think of it after. I'll just go up here and park ahead of him and stop finishing. Pull over and somebody gives me, every time you shut the car up, you get a beer, right? So somebody handed me a beer and I'm walking back to him and he's going, you don't think you won, right? Nah, here. We had some good times.
Billy, was the biggest one the Columbia 200, other than Syracuse, when you had that big, very small duel with Brightfield?
Yeah, most satisfying. That was a tough race. That was something. Now there you're talking about running alongside of somebody for over 100 laps.
Right.
Just side by side. He'd go one side, he'd go underneath, and there was a hole. I said, there's no way he's going to run 200 laps and put that right rear through that hole. And he ran 200 laps, putting that right rear right through the hole into, and I'd go around the top of it. And we'd go through traffic, we'd come wherever we were in traffic, he'd go under and we'd go around the outside. And then we ran the whole lap after a race like that.
Billy, could you confirm something for me? That race, in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion, was one of the best races that I've ever seen. And it was hot that day. It was Memorial Day. Just confirm something for me. I remember reading that it was so hot, especially in the driving uniforms, you perspired that day. Am I correct in remembering reading that you lost like 15 or 16 pounds that day?
17 pounds.
17 pounds, just from sweating.
Yeah, I thought I was going to pass out because we had a caution with, I don't know, maybe 20 to go or something. And you know John McClone.
Right.
And he was, Sam knows him. I mean, he was like my other set of eyes on the outside of the racetrack all the time. And I'm trying to find out what's going on, you know, what lap we were on, how much further we had to go. And I went around, and all of a sudden I started getting the chills. I mean, I went from sweating to just getting the chills, and I said, no, this is not going to be good. I'm not going to make it into this race. Because John had already told me we had 20 or 25 laps to go or something. And when the race was over, I couldn't even get out of the car. It was the most paralyzing feeling I ever had. My legs just wouldn't move. And I don't know how the only thing that could work is the throttle, I guess, because I barely could stop the car. So it was a lousy feeling, but my arms worked, and I think most of my head worked, but feet wouldn't hold me up.
Back in the day, when I started racing and stuff like that, we used to race Staten Springs, Connecticut, with no trailer. We used to flat tow the car. And then one of the best races I ever heard was with Ernie Gahan. We raced side by side all the way through, and on the last lap, I wanted to go down on the outside, and I hit a hole, and the stripper was too close to the firewall, broke the stripper again. But flat towing up, we used to leave 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday morning, and we get there about, now there was no super highways or anything, we used to go 9W and all that, through Hartford and all that stuff. And then go up there, we get there about 4 in the afternoon, race, and then they had a cot in the race car. Now I would go to sleep in the race car on the way back. And if it rained, the bastards didn't stop. And we'd get back around, we'd get to Raritan around 5 in the morning on a Saturday morning, and work on the car and whatever, go to Flemington, and then come home from Flemington and then work in the car and go to Manhattan. And all these guys are these haulers, they think, I don't know how we really did it, honest to God. I can't figure it out to this day, because I got a race car now, and if I work on it 3 hours, I'm beat. But it's just, and I'm sure Billy did the same way. You flat towed in the beginning, didn't you? Or,
No, I didn't. No. We built up. I was in the elevator business too, and so we had a lot of steel laying around the house and around the farm. So when I built my first car, whoever knows John Kramer, Billy Kramer, John helped me build the first car, which, by the way, that car, I bought just the chassis and the rear and the transmission. And that's the car that Otto Harlow got killed in Middletown. And John stripped the car. And when I wanted to get started with it, he said, well, I'll help you, but we do the whole thing. So he helped me with the cage and everything, and we put it together. And I got it all together, and I didn't have no way to get the rim strap. So I took 2 old stiles out of an elevator, and I welded them to an axle, and just ran it up like on a pair of ramps, and that's how we got the rig. I built it like in 1 day, just so I could get it.
Jim Horton that tows his car now with a single wheel trailer, that's the trailer we built to go to Staten Springs. That trailer is made just alongside that.
Oh, that's scary.
That's old. I think we built that in 60, 59 or 60. And that was the ramps was on a hoist in the garage. And they come out of the ramp and welded the axle to it the way we want.
Yeah, it's basically like we use stiles out of an elevator.
Yeah.
Question for Billy. For 30 years now, I've been hearing stories about you and Gary Blue, 2 rental cars and a Porta-John up at Syracuse.
No, it was only 1 rental car.
Let's,
true.
From the horse's mouth, and leave out no details. Let's hear about this.
I guess we were probably tipping a couple beers and raising a little dough out in the infield, and we're coming around it. Well, over by the concession stand, there was a Porta-John there. If this is the one you're talking about, I know there was a couple of incidents with Porta-John. This particular one, Kenny Goldman was just going in the door. Is this the one you want to hear about?
Whatever. I've heard different versions.
Goldman just went in. We hit that thing and drove it about 25 feet to the outside of it. Where we didn't kill him. We backed up, we're sitting here drinking our beer, and he came out, and I thought the guy was going to die. He was like trembling. If that's the way you're talking about it. There is another one, too.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
This was, the other one was on the outside of the racetrack, another one partying, and a friend of mine had one of these big bombs that they, firework bomb, but it wasn't encapsulated, so it was just a big chunk of dynamite. So this was 1974, matter of fact, it was the year that I won Syracuse. And my camper is parked one camper over from the porta-john. And this guy took this thing and threw it in the porta-john. And it blew up. I mean, this thing, it didn't blow apart for some reason. It shattered everything. It looked like a spider web. Everything was all just shattered. So they go and they put the door back and everything in there. I mean, there was, whatever was in there was out. And we stood the door back up and all. And the next morning, I'll never forget it, this guy comes down with a honey dipper to clean it out, you know. And he's got this, probably his daughter, cute little girl with him and all. And she goes to open the door and the door falls off. Well, I'm telling you, it was sad to see. It was just all over the place. But that was the second time with a porta-john up there. Other than that, we never did anything wrong.
I've got to ask you a question. Who turned the water hose on in the Holiday Inn on the top floor to flood it out the whole?
I can tell you who got blamed for it.
Lou got blamed for it, didn't he?
Oh, me?
You got blamed for it.
Yeah. Well, they were after both Blue and I, because we were the ones. Garback was in there too. Garback had a little issue on that whole
Because I
thing.
know it flooded. I mean, there was a 4 steps downstairs and it flooded the whole field. They were evacuating people the whole time.
Went down.
Water
went down
like
15
water
floors.
down the steps.
Went down 15 floors.
Yeah, and around hall.
But I can't blame anybody because I really don't know who did it. I didn't do it, but that was one of Mike's little tricks. He went and called, that same time he called up the liquor store and ordered all kinds of liquor. And I forget who, I think he charged the balloon. Not sure. Whoever it was, because they were staying there. I was staying in the fairgrounds. And anyway, we were in this, I think it was bar room, and we were all drinking. There's a ton of us in there. And then I think possibly Blue might have done it, but I don't know. But when Blue got that invoice for about, I don't know how much money it was, probably about $300-400 at that time.
That'd be more than that.
It was a bunch of booze, I know that. Maybe I'm making it a little late, but that's as far as I can tell you about that. I don't know who it was.
I know that Holiday Inn, I just got my ass kicked in there one night. The Holiday Inn is round. All the rooms are right here, and there's an elevator that comes on up, and there's a door open up there, and a door open up there. I was pretty well intoxicated, and I come back up, and I knew my door was straight across from the entrance to the hall. So I push the floor, and I get up, I walk out, go to open my door, and it won't open up. Somebody in my room was like, well, beating on our room. Well, Syracuse had their big football game the same day as we used to have our races done. Well, this guy opens up the door, and I'll tell you what, there was 2 up there about that wide. It was big. I said, you guys are in my room. So I'm going to tell you guys something. I said, no, shit, I had about as much chance as that. And I said, I'm going to tell you guys something. You're in my room, and I don't like it. Well, we're not in your room, they slammed the door. Right, so we got to figure this one out. So I get back in the elevator, and I push the basement and go all the way down again and everything. So I'm moving this elevator, hit that button. I come back up, and there's my room across the thing. I go across, go right up the door, no open the door. So I beating the door, you know. The guy answers the door guy says, son, this ain't your room. I said, I'm going to tell you something right now. Either you get out of my room, because I'm going to go down one more time and run this thing over again. If not, I said, get ready. So I go back down. I push the right button this time. I come back up, and I see the door, and I knew the handle was locked. And I run and hit that door, knocked it off the hinges, and wasn't nobody was in there. On the floor and jump up, I'm ready.
We have time for one more question. Anybody?
Brian,
Yes, sir.
were you even alive when these guys were racing?
Well, I'll tell you, I remember going to the track, sitting in the second turn, and playing in the dirt with those little plastic cars they used to have. And Ed used to watch us. I think when we were 6, 7. So I remember going out and when ShopRite was over there, he used to take us out in his car. We used to do donuts. I never forget that. Back then,
Your parents were in Florida.
Yeah, we used to make us. We used to go out there.
Come over and hang out.
There's a lot of things that I do remember about Flemington.
Taught them how to throw snowballs.
Yeah, we used to throw snowballs. And they tell us when the cops come, run in the basement. We used to go find the metal doors behind there. We used to hide. And like I said, I've been around racing, a long time, like these guys. And I'm honored to be here with these two guys. I mean, I've won races, but these guys are legends. I'm just an ordinary guy.
You were born at the wrong time, man.
So,
You missed.
like I said, I gave it a try. For whatever reason, it didn't really work out. Like I said, I don't regret ever doing it.
Yeah.
I think in today's society, these guys will tell you it's tough. I mean, I did probably 95% out of my own pocket, and even Ed, he'll tell you, anybody that's gone to the track, you got to have fun. For whatever reason, I guess I just wasn't a good spokesman for myself, but that's why I got Andrea here.
Different world. It's a different world.
She's going to help me out. I'm going to give it one more shot. The last race that I raced in Delaware actually flipped. So you never really want to end up that way. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have fun trying to do something different, and maybe something will work out different for me. I don't know. I figure I'll be 41 in 7 or 8 days, so you never know. I'm not dead. Like Stanley when he got a flat there with that dollar sign. I will never forget that race. I was sitting in turn. I think it was the 3rd turn. I remember he led the whole race. And I think Scotty Kanye won. He got a flat going in the 3rd turn. And he got, last lap. And he says, "I'm not dead yet." I'll never forget that. And so you're never really out of it, but you do need a lot more help than not saying they didn't need a lot of help back then, but it's a whole Sunday process of taking the body off and washing it. And, you need a lot of people to help out. And not only with sponsorship, just in general.
Right.
So, like I said, I appreciate Andrea giving me an opportunity, and like I said, we're definitely going to be out there, and hopefully, like I said, something will work out, for me. If it doesn't, I'm not bitter. Like I said, I got 2 kids that play baseball. I love, helping them out. For whatever reason, I tried to get them into races, but they're not. I don't know. I had quarter midgets for them. I took them to the wall. They did real well the first, year we did it, but their excuse was they liked the dirt better, but for whatever reason I couldn't get them to work on their car. And I told them, I said, "Man, if I had that when I was your age, that thing would never have wheels on it." I remember the first go-kart my father gave me was one of them ones without a roll cage on it. I used to run around the field all the time, and the frame actually broke in the back. And I remember taking a half-inch piece of rebar and spreading the frame apart, getting it in there, and welding it around. And I used to ride that thing, until it blew a rod. And but nowadays, these cars go a lot faster, and you gotta be safe. Like I said, we had an issue with the roll cage, so I told Andrew we gotta make sure that if we're gonna do it, that's gotta be done right. So I still have the trailer, I still have a lot of parts. I sold the Bicknell car I had with a file big block, and I think the biggest thing, like I said, with New Egypt is the rules there are so, it seems like, I wish, like the IMSA class that they have now, I wish that somebody would incorporate that here. I understand everybody's got to make money with different chassis builders, but these motors, they start at 35 for a decent one. They go all the way up to 50. I mean, who would take a chance on that? A guy like me, that's what I got to do. I got to say, all right, you will.
If the motors weren't that expensive, could you afford to do it?
Sure.
In other words, like your crate division, I think, of course, I got a crate 2 motor, which cost $6,000, and the crate 1 motor was, I think, $3,200. And the crate 1 motor is the one that's standing where the crate 2 motors wasn't all the late models. You know what I'm saying? But I paid $4,000 for my motor, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I
You
think.
know, and I have no problems with that motor. And I understand people want to build motors and try to drag another guy, but I think it kind of ruined the guy that's trying to get in the sport and just can't afford to get into it.
Yeah, like him, so they got, they have flamer motors. I mean, you want to stop the having to check motors and this and that, hey, have a flamer. I'll never forget, I ran, that was the only thing I think I ran at Wilmington Speedway was endurance. I remember they had I think it was for $3 grand, if you guy finished in front of you, buy his whole car. So one night I remember Timmy Pouch finished second, I think I finished third. I think if you were in the top 5, you can do it. So the guy that won, I knew he was illegal. He went by me, I couldn't hear anything. Rah! Sounded like a street stop, you know, so I ran up there right away. I told my wife, I said, hurry up, run home, get 3,000, you know. So in the meantime, you know, they're all, the guy's like, oh yeah, sure, you know, you could have it, no problem. Well, as soon as it came down to it, he knew he had a lot more money in that motor than 3,000, because I was like, oh, if he's gonna give it to me, that'd be great. So, like I said, it's just, he wound up losing, and Timmy wound up saying, hey, thanks, bro, you know, like I said, I remember when I raced there, a couple guys, when they raised the hoods, I mean, the motors were supposed to be regular stock. I mean, and like I said, I'm not saying anybody does anything wrong at the weekend, but like I said, there's gotta be some kind of limit to it. If the way aluminum and steel and everything else is going up, like I said, when you go to the track, you gotta worry about buying 2 tires every week. That's almost $400. Then you gotta get to the track. There's, $100. You gotta pay to get in. There's so much more that goes with it. The fuel on the car. Like I said, you're looking at $600-700 a week. You say to yourself, man, that's a lot. That's almost a day's pay. I mean, and like I said, I used to work Saturdays, Sundays, and sooner or later, it wears on you. You do it long enough, some people get fortunate enough they don't have to,
Right.
they get motors, guys will help sponsor motors. I think the motor end of it right now is because the tracks are going towards being slicker. If you could lighten them up, or the motor we had was lightened, but it wasn't lightened enough. And I just kept bringing the same thing there, a top 5 car, and it stung for me to go race Saturday knowing that I had something that could win, but 3 guys had to drop out for me to do that. And like I said, sooner or later you come to the fact that if you don't make a change, it just doesn't do you any good.
Yeah.
So, like I said, hopefully something will work out. Like I said, I'm glad to get back in it, and appreciate for everybody having me here.
Great.
We have a good time.
Yeah, well,
Well, we want to thank you guys for coming. We're going to wrap it up, because we don't want to close our business up here in a while. But really appreciate Brian, Sammy, and Billy, Andrea coming out. Appreciate the picture. How about a round of applause for